Okay, so some of you might remember an episode I did last year where I complained about people mispronouncing my nickname. Well, it hasn't quite stopped there. This time I've got a case of misspelling, so the honor of today's flub goes to Joe Zilla for his misspelling Jaimetud. Thank you, Joe, for the awesome recognition and the strange image you've given us all. He lives the life of an average Joe, and for that he don't need to practice. He lives the life of an average Joe, 'cause that's the best for him. So today it looks like I've gotten myself mixed up in yet another collaboration review, but don't worry, I plan to go back to a more reality show style. Besides, today I'm actually looking at something I enjoyed, Stitch the movie. After Disney's ginormous success with Lilo and Stitch, the company did what they usually do and launched it as a highly successful merchandising franchise that still exists even to this day, as a very odd spin-off. But before all that, the company needed something to bridge the gap between the movie and the inevitable TV series. That's where this movie comes in. Actually, I can't even call this a movie. You see, movies are typically well over an hour in length. This movie clocks in at 57 minutes and 55 seconds, so it's more like an hour-long pilot for the TV show rather than a movie. It has all the same characters from the first film, all acting pretty much the same. They even got all the old voice actors back. Jumba and Pleakley are still dressing up as humans, only this time I think Pleakley likes dressing up as a woman just a little too much. And that's me talking. Oh, wait a minute, how'd this get in here? You did not see that. Anywho, the plot with this movie revolves around Jumba's other 625 genetic experiments, which he apparently keeps in dehydrated capsules. Just add water and they turn into their normal, monstrous, terrorizing little selves. They're kinda like those sponge capsules you used to drop in water and they turn into a fish or something. What, you never played with those? Well, imagine what if those things came to life and raised hell. Picture that and you've got these guys. So in this movie, Gantu is hired to track down and capture Jumba's dehydrated Pokemon collection for a certain Dr. Hamsterville, a villain with somewhat of a Napoleon complex. And there seems to be a running gag with people constantly mispronouncing his name, which, as I explained earlier, is a story of my life.
Ah, Dr. Jacques von Hamsterwheel.
Hamsterville! It is Hamsterville!
It's Hamster Wheel.
Hamsterville! Hamsterville!
That's Hamster Wheel?
Stop talking about me, you gossipy pea brains!
So that's the plot and the conflict right there. The security of the rest of the experiments. Hamsterville wants them back because he believes that they belong to him, and Lilo and Stitch want them back because they're Stitch's family and want them to be safe. And this conflict is treated rather well. Story-wise, the film suffers from a tad bit of repetition, with Stitch still trying to find a way to fit in, and I must admit there are some rather hilarious results.
Hey, that's my chainsaw.
But that's the only real complaint I have. The film also serves to introduce new characters to the franchise that will later appear in the TV series. We have 625, the only experiment with the same powers as Stitch, but with the voice of Frank Welker and a penchant for making sandwiches. Why? Because every good kid show needs a goofy fat guy.
Ah, grilled cheese.
But more importantly, we have Sparky, another experiment who likes to play with electricity. He kinda reminds me a lot of that electric gremlin from Gremlins 2. I don't know, maybe it's the fact that he's got the same exact attitude and superpowers. Mind you that these creatures were created for the sole purpose of creating chaos, but this just gives our heroes the incentive to show him how to be good. That's where I think this movie really works, because the purpose of the original film was to show that because you were trained for one purpose doesn't necessarily mean you have to live up to that. The sequel continues in that same vein through Sparky here, as Lilo and Stitch help him to find a better purpose in life. In the end, our heroes save the experiments from the clutches of Dr. Hamsterwheel.
It's Hamsterville, you absurd grand...
Shut up! From the clutches of Dr. Hamsterville by setting them loose and spreading them all over Hawaii. That's not a very good idea, but the situation calls for it, and it sets the stage for the TV show, which in every episode features another experiment getting saved.
624? Gosh, haha, that's enough for at least 3 seasons. Catching!
And that's all you really need to know. If I really wanted to bash this movie, I could start asking a lot of questions like, How did they get Academy Award nominee Michael Clark Duncan to be in a straight-to-video sequel? How can they call an intergalactic jail cell from an ordinary house phone? How does Jumba answer the phone hanging upside down with his arms bound some 20 feet away from the receiver? Why would you have a self-proclaimed evil genius living in your house? Why does Sparky go from bad to good so easily? How is it that a giant alien and his annoying roommate live in a crash-landed spaceship out in the middle of the forest and no one seems to notice? How does Stitch know how to hotwire a car? Why can't the fat guy ever have his ice cream? But mostly, how is it that whenever there's a problem of epic proportions, David stays so cool? I mean, he takes Nani home, the house is destroyed, everyone's missing, and he's just like,
I'm sure it's okay. She's probably just hanging out with her new friends.
But you know, I don't need a nitpick like that because I did like this movie. I wouldn't put it above the original, but the animation is actually pretty good and the story is overall kinda cute. In fact, I'd say it's one of the better... what's going on here?
Hey, Jaimetud, Jaimetud, or whatever your name is. Did I just hear you right? You like this film?
Yes, I did. Is there a problem with that?
I thought you were supposed to bash all these damn Disney films, not praise them.
Who says we have to bash them? And dude, look at me when I'm talking to you.
Hey man, I heard you're reviewing Stitch the movie.
Yeah, I was just finished.
Oh man, I saw a commercial for it once. Lilo and Stitch is my favorite Disney movie, and it looks like they wrecks the whole entire concept. So there are 625 other experiments that somehow survive the arduous process.
By Chris Farley's Cheesecake, Jaimetud, I can't believe you said you liked this movie, and then you just rattle off a bunch of criticisms like that. You are a hypocrite.
Alright, well, have fun watching an extremely goofy movie, dude.
Fine, I will.
The scientist was brought to trial for his creation, but they didn't notice that he created 625 other monsters already.
But the very fabric of our reviews depends upon the frustration of the reviewers maliciously ripping into their subjects like a pack of vicious hounds.
Oh, shut up.
So they just used the whole premise as an excuse to throw in the word Ohana, and Stitch is all like, cousins! Like,
Jaimetud!
Who is this?
Exactly. Listen, whatever you do, do not say you like this movie. Otherwise, this timeline will become a devastating alternate universe where my enemy, Dr. Insane, rules the world.
Whatever.
No, wait!
hey, my friend does a great impression of Stitch. You want to hear?
Or Hanuman's family.
Okay, guys, I actually like this movie.
What?
It wasn't that bad. Look, I have to get back to...
Don't you want to kill one of my minions in a fit of mortal fury?
No, I don't.
Come on, guys. Is it really so wrong for someone to review something they like?
Hey, I like that movie too.
Thanks. Okay, do we have any other cameos to get out of the way? Nothing? Nobody? Alright, good. Now I can...
Look out! Ow! Hey, I liked your movie. Ow! Stop it! What are you doing this for? What are you doing to me? Okay, that's it. Back off. I've got a chicken. I've got a chicken. Ow!
Don't you want to kill one of my minions in a fit of mortal fury?
I want to kiss her and tell her that I love her. I don't know.
What are you doing?
Just I was here.
Yes, you're playing the room. Is that the one that's downloaded?
Just finished.
Good. Now.